Hello, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this Love Your Look video for your Mary Kay consultant. My name is Julia Crowley and I am a sales director in Mary Kay. So I might be your consultant or your consultant might be in our unit, but nevertheless, we thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Just so you know, this is going to be short. Okay, this is going to be short and quick and really usable tips. So you'll probably even want to grab a pen and a piece of paper because there's going to be some color choices I'm going to help you through. But before I tell you more about tonight, let me tell you about myself. As I mentioned, my name is Julia. February is my 14-year anniversary in Mary Kay. Before that, I was a TV reporter. I loved my job, but I worked crazy hours and all the time. And so one of the things I love the most, having been full-time in Mary Kay now for 13 of those 14 years, I love that I get to make my own schedule. I love that I get to be with my kids whenever I want to. I have a 14 and 11-year-old, so I get to work my schedule around them. I love that when they're home, I get to be home. And I love that I have no limits to our finances because our income is totally within my control. And so, but probably the thing I love most is that I get to create a sisterhood. I get to be part of a sisterhood of like-minded women. And you're one of those for being one of our customers. So thanks for taking part in this event. Now, tonight's purpose is to teach you some makeup tips, some tricks for, I call it everyday contouring, and we're going to have some specials. So if you watch to the end, we're going to give you a chance to win some things and get some things for free, etc. So let's get right into it. Okay, a little bit of this I'm going to be talking as I go. And so one of the things is I want to talk about a brand new product. This is our new Facial Mineral SPF. And part of it is I want you to see me put this product on my face, okay? Because it is an SPF, and I know people are often worried about SPFs like going on their face. Sometimes like I don't want it to, mess up my makeup. So I'm putting this SPF. It is our Mineral Facial SPF, and it is going directly on my face. So right now, all I have is my skincare on and my eyes done, okay? But that's how much I love you guys that I would come on here without foundation because we're going to be focusing on a flawless face. And so look at me putting on this product. Look how effortlessly it's disappearing. Okay, and it feels actually really good going on my skin. So here's the thing. This is different. Then there are two types of SPF. There's a chemical SPF and a mineral SPF. Chemical SPFs actually take the UVA and UVB rays and they turn them to neutral energy. Okay, so they keep them from harming your skin. Mineral sunscreen is different in that it provides an actual physical barrier between the sun and your skin, and not just the sun, but the things that cause sun damage and cancer. So things like UVA lights that come from your cell phone and your computers. And so this provides a barrier to protect against those. This one is also 100% mineral sunscreen. That's very important to check because there are a lot of mineral sunscreens on the market that are actually only 15 or 20%. This is 100% mineral sunscreen. No chemical SPF in this. It uses zinc oxide, but as you can tell, I don't have any white finish on my skin, which is really great. It is lightweight and it is good for all skin types, and it has no smell. Literally no SPF smell, no smell at all, and it actually feels really nice on my skin. My skin is pretty dry in general, so I love the feel. It feels like I have extra moisture locked in. Okay, so I've put this on, and then this can go on over your makeup as well, like if you're reapplying during the day, but I want you to see it under my makeup, okay? So I've put this on. I am protected now all day. I did my Time-Wise Antioxidant Moisturizer, then the Mineral Facial SPF. It's an SPF 30, and then I'm going to put on our foundation primer. Now this product has an additional SPF of 15. So I'm going to show you how to put it on, and then we'll talk a little bit more about why. So first off, the amount is important. It's a healthy pea size amount. And then what I like to do is kind of break it up by rubbing the product. That actually starts to break the product. And when you do it with your fingers, it warms it. So it actually goes on better to your skin. And I like to start in here. Primer does a couple great things. One is that it helps your foundation stay on up to 8 or 10 hours or more. Second thing is it helps to seal in all the lines and pores. So if you've ever looked at your makeup at the end of the day and you're like, my foundation really sets into my skin, Well, a primer would fix that. It will seal off all of your lines and pores. The third thing is it does is it helps to diffuse any redness, like or any skin discoloration, like redness or yellowness. So I like to put my foundation primer on. I realized I forgot one product. No matter how many times I try to get everything out for these events, I always miss something. Okay, so let me see. There we go. So, anyways, I like to put on and maybe give about 30 seconds before I put on my foundation. Not a lot of time, which is good. So I want to talk about different foundations in Mary Kay. So Mary Kay has a whole bunch of foundations. And you should get with your Mary Kay consultant and try different ones. I recommend a foundation wardrobe. So these things that you see here, I have all of these finishes in my foundation wardrobe. So in my drawer, I have multiple foundations. So we're going to mainly talk about our anti-aging liquid foundation and our CC cream foundation. And then I also like a setting powder. And so there are, with those two foundations, our CC cream or our mineral powder, our CC cream is a really great light foundation alternative. So if you don't wear a lot of foundation, CC cream is awesome. I also like if it's the weekend or an easy day, it's a lighter finish foundation. Now for my daily foundation, I like to wear our Time Wise 3D anti-aging liquid foundation. And what's cool about this one is it comes in two finishes. So one is our matte finish. It actually finishes like it's almost like you've worn powder, but you don't have to. It absorbs oils throughout the day and it helps to control that shine. Where our luminous foundation actually has illuminators in it and jojoba bead that hydrate your skin throughout the day. So that's going to give you a dewy finish. And that one is great if you have normal to dry skin, where I recommend the matte if you have oily skin, combination skin, or if you just like a matte finish. Now, I personally need the luminous foundation because I have very dry skin. So sometimes my foundation looks very cakey. If you've ever seen that with your foundation and you're trying to first two fixes, one is a primer. The second is you might need a more hydrating foundation. So I'm going to show you, there are lots of foundation tools. We sell a lot of them, brushes, etc. And I recommend that you have multiple ones. Oops. Throwing stuff in my bathroom. But I'm going to show you how to use our Mary Kay sponge today. Now you're going to have to apologize because I'm using mine that is kind of dirty because I want you to see the difference, okay? What you do is this is what our sponge looks like when you get it. It's an egg-shaped sponge, but it's so much better than the others on the market because see this little indent? You can hold on to it there. It has a pointed part to do these areas. It has a flat part to do the face, but it comes very hard. Okay, it's hard. It's not squeezable. Every time you're going to use it, you're going to soak it underwater. Fill it full of water, wring it out. Fill it full of water, wring it out. This is what it looks like when you have filled it full of water and wrung it out. There's no water. It's not dripping or anything, but you see the size difference? It's like almost double. I don't know if you can tell that as well from the camera. This one is also super soft. This one, not so soft. This super soft. I could squeeze it a bunch. That's how you want it. Okay. So now for this part, when I show you the contouring, I think that the sponge helps a lot. But for the part of applying the foundation to your face, I'm okay with you doing it with a brush or with the sponge, not your fingers. Okay, we can talk about why later. But I just apply it right to the sponge, mainly because I know how much foundation my face needs. You can start out in smaller amounts or apply a little bit to your face at a time if you don't know how much your face needs. Now I have to look at a better mirror here. So I like to take the flat end of the sponge and I'm moving the color around, okay, because I only dotted it in a few areas. But once I kind of get it like around to the area where it's covering, I'm going to then pat it in. Now you'll notice I did do this foundation up by under my eyes. We are going to put under eye corrector up there, but I still like to graze it a little bit with foundation. So I am just pulling my hair back and pushing some foundation up there. And again, I'm going back around and I'm pushing this in. Now a sponge can give you a very natural look. So it gives a very dewy finish. Now I still get great coverage with the sponge, but it never looks cakey. It always looks very fresh. I like to then take the extra and kind of move it down. That's because my neck color is a different color than my face. So I love to do this here. Now, if you're thinking, okay, well, actually, we'll talk about that in a second. So I like to put this on all around like this. There we go. Okay, now that was very fast, right? It can go very quickly. I also like to take a little bit of my foundation. I'm gonna put it on the side of my hand, and this is to do my under eye area. Now, if you are probably above 40 and maybe below that, you need something for your under eyes. It's just the truth. I like to mix our under eye corrector with a little bit of my foundation. So, and I do that on my hand because your hand is a warm surface. And when you warm the products, they actually adhere better to the skin. So I have our under eye corrector. Let me just talk about the magic of this. It's magic. Okay. That's all I can really say. So it's magic. If you're doing this area, I recommend our under eye corrector, not a concealer. So today you are going to see me do a lot of the highlighting, contouring with this under eye corrector. So I am just mixing a little bit of my foundation and a little bit of my under eye corrector, and I am just pushing it into this area. Okay. So, and you'll see I'm just kind of pushing it right under, and then I'm going to go out here to this outside and kind of lift up. Do you see that? Now, if you've noticed, I have done my eye makeup beforehand. That's not just for camera effect. I always do my eye makeup first. That's because if you do your eye makeup first before your foundation and anything falls, you have not messed up your foundation, which I really like. So you'll notice that I have already done that. Now, once I've kind of put that in, I'm just going to take a little bit extra, and I'm just going to fill in. Some days I need a little more than others. Okay. And so, and then I'm just taking that back in and just kind of blending with the sponge. All right. Now you'll be able to see the difference from one to the other in just a second. Okay. So I'm going to let that dry for a second. Now I like to take the end of this highlighter and I like to go right down my nose. Okay. So we're talking about the highlighting parts. Okay. So I like to go right down my nose and I like to go right up here. I realize I haven't gotten into my contouring explanations yet. So I will do that in a second. So you notice how I go right down my nose. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of blend that in. This is where the sun would hit you. So I like to you're going to always take a little bit of this highlighter. And for the highlighter on this part, you're going to see me talk about two kinds of highlighters. I like to use this under eye corrector. Okay. And so I am just putting it in all these areas. Notice it's a straight line. Why? Because if the sun were to hit you, or if you look like in a picture and you ever have this beautiful glowing, like the sun has just hit you perfectly, this is where it's hit you, right down the middle. Okay. And so I like to do it right there on the Cupid's bow of your lip because it helps to accentuate that as well. So it's kind of straight down. Now I've patted all of this in, but it's going to blend better when I get to the powder. So don't worry about that part yet because you'll see that better in just a moment when we get to the powder. Okay, so I've kind of set everything here. Now, if you notice, I've done one side and not the other. So I'm going to keep that up. So hopefully you can see the difference. I can see it in person very well. But so I'm going to do the one side and not the other, which makes me look very lopsided, but it will help you when we're looking at contouring differences. So let's talk about what it looks like to contour a little bit. So contouring, which is using highlighting and lighter and darker shades to do what I call take 10 pounds off and 10 years off your face, because that's what contouring can do. It should be based a little bit on your face shape. I'm going to teach you a general contouring, which looks more like this. You'll see where they put the highlight and where they put the contour. And so if you've noticed, I've already done those highlight areas with the under eye corrector. It's my favorite because it's light diffusing. And the thing about the under eye corrector is everybody is the same shape. So whether you're the lightest person or darkest, everybody uses the same under eye corrector. And if you notice, I am applying those correctors or concealers, we're applying them after foundation. That way they stay in place. So if you'll notice on the side to the right, we have done the highlighting just where I put it. And now we're going to come in and do some contouring, and we're going to add a little powder highlight as well. Now, as I mentioned, you can change the contouring slightly for your face shape. And that's something that your consultant you can get with your consultant, and she will help you determine what is my face shape. Now, if you remember, one of the things I did here was the under eye corrector. Okay, so I put a before and after picture in here because sometimes it's hard to see the before and after on me. But look at my friend here. Do you see the huge difference in the darkness under her eyes by using the under eye corrector? So that little magical piece does a whole heck of a lot, which I love. Okay, perfect. So we've got all of that. Now let's talk a little bit about contouring. You're going to notice what I'm doing today, highlighting and contouring, is like I would call it the everyday woman, the everyday contour and highlight. If you like spend a bunch of time watching YouTube and on how to do contouring and stuff, you could probably teach me. Join Mary Kay. You can sell it and make money and teach us all how to do it. But I'm going to teach you the everyday contour look. So a couple things about, before I get into the contour, I am going to put a little powder over this foundation. You do not have to do that with our foundations, but I like to because I always put my foundation on and it's a little wet. So I always like the powder and it helps it stay longer. There are two powder options for you. One is our translucent setting powder, goes on white. Looks beautiful. And then it looks white, goes on clear, and it's just translucent and gives you an airbrush finish. The other is our silky setting powder. It too gives an airbrush finish. Both of these are not drying powders, meaning that they will not sink into your pores. So if you're a dry skin person, you're like, I avoid powders. These are not them. These are silky and translucent powders. They will make your skin look airbrushed and not dry. So if you like a little bit more color with your powder, then I would do our silky setting powder. The advantage to that is you can also use it by itself on light days. And I like to go a little bit lighter with my powder. That's just my preference. I'm going to use our translucent powder because I love the airbrush finish. So our powders all have a lock on them, okay, so that they don't spill when you're traveling. So I've already poured out some of the powder into my lid. That's how I do it. You take our all over powder brush, you just dip it in, and I'm going to kind of just distribute it around first, and then I'll go in and just buff it in. So you notice, okay, so I'm doing both sides, even though I haven't put the under eye corrector on both sides. So you notice like I'm going up kind of where I did the under eye corrector and all of that, okay? So perfect. I did light. You can still see my highlighters, okay? All right, perfect. So that is our powder, okay? That is our setting powder, and I like it as a step to a flawless face. Now what I'm going to talk about is how to use our contouring powders. You can do contour and highlight with liquids, like with our concealers, or you can do it with powder. If you're like, I need basic, easy makeup, do it with powder. It's very easy, okay? So there's going to be a couple tricks. One, the tool matters. It matters so, so much. So this is our cheek brush. Oh, it's the best. We have all kinds of great brushes. You should definitely get our brush collection because both the brushes I've mentioned plus 3 more come in that set. But this brush is magical. You must have it. And if you already have one, probably need another one. Okay, so first off, it is made to do all things around your cheeks. So it's made to do highlight at the top, blush in the middle, and contour on the end bristles, okay? So I'm going to show you how to use it for all 3 things. That's why it's great to have multiples of this brush. So the brush is important. And then I'm going to be talking about our highlight powder and our contour powder. Each come in 2 shades, okay? So in the contour powder, now just to put it in perspective, I'm pretty tan. So we have ivory, beige, and bronze skin tones. I'm at the end of the beige tone. So I am pretty tan, and I still choose to use our lighter of the contour shades. It's mainly because it's more forgiving. I'd rather start with a lighter color and add to it, right? And so this is our latte. The other darker color is our cocoa. And as you can see, it's darker, right? It's definitely darker. So that's something to keep in mind, okay? But I would recommend if you're not sure to do the latte, unless you're darker than me, then I would go with the cocoa. So first off, on this brush, you're gonna notice a little indent right here. This is for your thumb when you do contouring. And that's because we want a tight bristle. So you can push your thumb up right there. And we're gonna just take that end of the brush and we're gonna put it in our palette. We're gonna talk about why this palette is so helpful in a minute, but you see how it's just on the end of the brush? Now I'm gonna push my thumb up and I'm going to kind of tighten those bristles so I can put this color just where I want it to go. Okay, it used to be that we were doing more in the concave here, okay? But we're actually, the trend right now is to move that contour and blush a little higher up, okay? And so see where my fingernail is? We're actually gonna stop about there on most of these blush and contour. And we're gonna put it right here. Why? Because it lifts my face. Okay, so I'm gonna take this thing and I'm gonna hold it just like this. And I'm gonna go, hold up, I gotta get a better mirror. Okay, and I'm gonna go right here, okay? Okay, so I'm going to lay it there. Now I'm going to grab, again, remember I'm doing a lighter color, so I'm going to put on a couple layers of it, okay? And if you'll notice, I'm just using this bottom part of the brush. You probably can't tell, but the middle part of the bristles not even touching my skin. So, and I'm just going to take a little bit more because I can kind of see a few spots where it's getting, okay. So perfect. And now I'm just going to go over it. I'm not going crazy. I'm not blending the brush everywhere, just going over it. Okay. It'll blend in more, or I may have to add more. Do you see how it's lifting me already? I mean, like, amen. Where has this been all day? Okay. And I'm pulling it back to my hairline. Okay. Now there are other places that you can put contour. So if you remember, we'll go back to, let me see if I can get back to that picture. Here we go. So, okay, so you can fill in this whole triangle contour area. I'm not going to teach you that because it takes a little more skill and I don't want your face to look dirty. Okay, but we are going to do this up line and this down line, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Okay, so if you're really, remember how I said we could take 10 pounds off? Let me show you how. So first off, you're going to come up here and you're going to almost put it in your hairline. Okay, so I'm like going down like this. Okay, and again, I'm only doing half my face so you can see. So I'm just literally putting it almost in my hairline. And as I blend, I'm literally pushing it into my hairline. Why? Because when you tan, that's kind of how you tan. You tan in these darker areas out here. Okay, the other place I'm put it is just under my jawline. This is the weight loss mechanism. Okay. So I'm going to put it here. There's even a trick you can do. If you notice, I'm going kind of from my ear line to the start of the point of my chin. Okay, now I'm just going back and forth. One of the other things that you can do there to really seal this off is I'm taking a little bit of my highlighter, the liquid, the under eye corrector, and I'm just putting that on the top part. So it's dark underneath and light on the top, okay? All right, are you seeing this? Okay, I can, look, I'm wanting to tilt my face because of it. I can already see the lift in my skin, right? I love it. Now, I'm also gonna show you a blush. Here's the thing. You can use all different kinds of blushes. I use our Shy Blush. If you're like, I don't know where to start with a blush, get the Shy Blush. It's my favorite. It looks good on everybody. It has an iridescent, so it has a little bit of shimmer to it. Not all of our blushes do. It's a kind of a coral tone. It looks great on everyone. If you like a flat blush, like kind of a more brownish blush, but not too dark, I like our Rosy Nude. If you like a pink blush, I love our Rogue Rose. So, but now with this brush, I'm going to take the center part and I'm going to put it right in the blush. So I'm literally putting the center part in. Why is that important? Well, it's important because I use this bottom part to get contour and I don't want that. Okay. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to put it up here just above where the contour went. It literally, when you set this brush on your face, when it has blush on it, it will literally hug your skin. So I'm going to put this on right here. Now, again, I like a lot of color, so I'm going to put a couple layers of that blush on. It's one of the reasons why I also like Shy Blush because it's pretty buildable. It can be light or it can be heavier. Okay, so there, I've done contour and blush. Now I'm going to take a little highlighter. I'm going to teach you some tricks with the highlighter. Remember, we use our under eye corrector for a lot of our highlighting, but we're also going to use this highlighting powder. It comes in 2 shades. It comes in Glaze, which is the lighter shade, and Honey Glow. It depends on how much highlight and glow you want. If you like a highlighter that's a little more towards the bronzer shade, do the Honey Glow. I could do the Honey Glow because I have a darker skin tone, but I actually prefer the glaze because of where I'm doing it. And this very tip part of the brush, if you turn it almost upside down, this tip part is designed for the highlighter. So I'm turning it upside down when I use it. First off, I'm going to put a little bit at the top of that blush, but here's where I really like it. I really like it right here on those apples because I didn't put any blush on the apples. So I like to put that highlighter right there and then I'm just blending. Okay, y'all, do you see the difference in my face? Like, do you see the difference? Oh my gosh, if this doesn't make you want to go get Mary Kay, holy moly. These are super easy to do. The good part about this video is you can save it and replay it. So when you get these products from your consultant, you can replay this video and I can walk you through how to do it all. Okay. All right. Now, if you have questions, you can ask your consultant those questions and she will answer them for you as well. Now, what I do want to do is I want to review the products we played in and offer you some specials. So I have 2 bundle specials. Okay. We're going to give you a form to fill out to win some stuff. And on that form, it will go over these specials again. So for now, just take a look at them so you can see them. I'm going to take whitest person to the darkest so that your consultant can easily match you virtual. If you're in person, I recommend if you need a foundation match, doing it in person because you can try all those products and you can even try the color the quiz recommends to make sure it's the right one. So just to go back to this, let me take Okay, so we also have a bundle if you're wanting to do more of the contouring. And listen, you can get both of these bundles. So this bundle here, this one is for it has the under eye corrector. Everybody needs that. All right, then you get to pick your contour color. So that's going to be either the latte or the cocoa. Remember, most people are going to be the latte. And then you're going to pick your highlight color. And that's going to either be the glaze that I use, which is the lighter, or the Honey Glow. Your consultant will help you. And you get the brush. So you want to get this brush. If you already have the brush collection, trust me, you're going to love having 2 of the cheek brush. So you get all those pieces, all 4 pieces for just $58. And then you're going to get your palette half off. Okay. And so, so what is the palette? Well, this is the palette. And this is our palette, our perfect palette. It's our medium size. The medium or the palette pro will fit your contour and highlights. If you want to get what was I going to say? You can pick out either palette and it would be half off. So if it's this perfect palette, which I love because it has a mirror, it's a perfect size. And in here, you can put eyeshadows or another blush, etc. But if you get this one normally retails for $20. So you would get it for just $10, which is awesome. So, so you get all 4 pieces for $58 plus right now you get the palette half off. Okay. So I love these deals. So these deals are only good for 24 hours. So you don't want to wait. You want to make sure you tell your consultant right away. Now, if you remember, we mentioned another product tonight. It was our sunscreen, our mineral SPF. I bet you've forgotten about it already, right? Because that's how amazing it looks on my skin. Well, I want you to get one totally for free. So you can get a free one two ways. The first way is that you get to book your follow up with friends. So you're going to do a follow up with your consultant where you can play in makeup or skincare. If you're willing to share that with 3 or more friends, you can get this mineral SPF totally free as a gift from me, plus get additional free products from your consultant. Okay. So if you want to do that, we're going to give you an opportunity to let your consultant know that, and you'll get a totally free mineral SPF when you hold the event. The other way to get a free mineral SPF is if you decide to join our Mary Kay world and become a consultant. Spoiler alert, you get 50% off all your products. So if you're thinking, I want a whole bunch of these products, you might want to consider joining Mary Kay, making some money, and saving money. You can start a Mary Kay business for as low as $35. There are several different startup options. They start as low as $35. This product is $28, so you're getting most of your money back. But you can start a business for as low as $30. There's even options where you get over $500 worth of product for just $130. So there's so many ways to win with Mary Kay. And here's the thing. When you do this, you get to start a business and have a way to bring in extra money. And maybe right now you just want your product at discount and maybe service a few friends and family, but you never know when you may need this opportunity and when it could help your family pay off credit card debt, pay off your mortgage, pay for private schooling or sports for your kids, pay to go on a trip, pay for a cruise. Those are all things that Mary Kay consultants on our team have done, and you could do that too. So you get your free SPF if you do either of those things. Book a follow-up with friends. You have to book and hold it by the deadline, or join our Mary Kay team in the next 24 hours and you get this free. All right, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to do that this event. As soon as you finish watching, text your consultant. Whether you're watching live or recorded, text her. She has a form that she is going to send you to fill out. It's just a feedback form. You're going to fill that out, answer a few questions. It will go over those specials again. And for everyone that fills it out, they will get entered to win some fun makeup items. I'm going to be raffling off some lip glosses. So make sure that you fill that form out right away, because you have to do it immediately, so that your consultant gets credit and so you get entered to win our giveaways. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. Have a great day.